Popular homage, national and sub-national leaders renew confidence in renewed hope administration.
Let's unite. Let's rally around our leader and propel and catapult this nation to a greater pedestal.
Protect our rights, consumers tell National Electricity Regulatory Commission over new tariff.
The distribution company is supposed to provide meter. They are supposed to provide transformer. Let them bring report of utilization of OPEX.
Plus, tributes pour in for late former Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Obonnaya Onu. Welcome to the Network News on NTA. I'm Naja'atu Tijani. Reading with me tonight from Lagos is Hingino John Adams, while Benny Adams is here in our Abuja studios with business news. Remember that this broadcast is being streamed live on our YouTube channel, and you can watch the replay afterwards. Do follow us across all social media platforms for the latest. Nigeria, regarded as the giant of Africa, can be greater, but leaders across all levels of government must take up the responsibility of making the country the true leader of the black nations in the world. A special plea by Vice President Kashim Shettima at a gathering hosted by President Bola Tinubu, attended by governors and some members of the National Assembly at his Lagos residence. State House correspondent Musbah Nawahab reports.
All roads from the state's capitals led to Lagos once again, with a convergence of national and sub-national leaders here. This perhaps is a testament to the popularity of President Bola Tinubu. For this assemblage, therefore, beyond the feast, appraisal of a state of affairs in the country was imminent, and none other describes the host better than his second-in-command, who says the man in charge is a leader with the right capacity and capabilities that Nigeria needs to manage its complexities at the moment.
When there was doom and gloom enveloping this nation, when the nation was at the precipice, on the verge of an implosion, he stood for the nation. He sacrificed his life and resources for the enthronement of democracy in this country. And the gathering of 27 governors of different coloration in this chamber bears testimony to the fact that he's a unifying leader who has embraced all tendencies. And I have seen a Fulani governor eating pounded yam with stockfish. The governor, you know. And instead of looking for guinea corn, this notorious governor of Adamawa, a Margi man, he was eating rice. I was amazed.
Vice President Shettima believes the greater Nigeria being desired requires purposeful leaders and unity amongst the citizens.
Let's unite. Let's rally around our leader and propel and catapult this nation to a greater pedestal. 230 million black people, some of the most industrious black people on earth. So the future of the black man rests on our shoulders to make Oma. So I'm quite glad by the outpouring of emotion and support. The economy has turned the corner. By the grace of God, in the coming months and weeks, the economy will roar back to glory.
And from the evaluation of leaders of a subnational, those hard policy decisions of a Nigerian leader are beginning to yield positive results, enumerated to include better naira value, distribution of palliatives, and other infrastructural projects.
My colleagues are here to support you, and we also thank you for the support you've been giving the subnational. As we speak to you, trucks are rolling out across the nation, distributing grains to various states. I have received. Most of the states, in fact, have all received. And this the news of what you're doing, those that are hoarding food items are already releasing them. That's part of the reason why these commodity prices are going down.
Almighty Allah should protect you. Protect your vice president and protect your administration. Almighty Allah should protect all of us. Grant us the wherewithal to make Nigerians happier as we are making them.
The president and his Muslim guest were earlier at the Dolphin Estate Mosque, Ikoyi, for Juma prayer. In Lagos, Musbal and Wahab, NTA News.
The President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, is seeking continuous collaboration of his constituents with the federal government for effective delivery of dividends of democracy. The President of the Senate made this known while briefing his constituents on his journey so far. Evelyn Badu Ekpo reports.
Senate President Godswill Akpabio appreciates his constituents for standing by him and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu during and after the elections, emphasizing that as Senate President, he will bring SOCOL to the state in collaboration with the President and the state governor.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu decided to assist all lawmakers at the federal level to touch the people at home.
He assured the people of Akwa Ibom Northwest Senatorial District of his commitments to their welfare with the collaboration of the governor.
As the senator is doing his own, the governor should also be doing his own. That way the state will be better. I think it is time that we have finished with politics of election now. We are now doing governance. The governor of the state must touch you.
High points of the event was the distribution of over 10,000 bags of rice and other essentials for his constituents in all the wards. Evelyn Badu Ekpo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Deputy President of the Senate, Barrow Jibrin, joined other Muslims to observe Eid al-Fitr in his hometown of Kabo local government area of Kano State. Aminu Umar reports that Senator Jibrin had a warm reception.
Ramadan is a moment associated with genuine sacrifice, sincerity, love and care for the needy. Its completion is that of celebration and show of gratitude to Almighty Allah. This is what Deputy President of the Senate, Barrow Jibrin, joined his kinsmen in Kabo local government area of Kano State to observe. Together with his Chief of Staff, Senator Barrow observed the 2-rakat prayer led by the Chief Imam of Kabo, Jafar Mustafa, who admonished Muslim faithful to uphold the lessons of Ramadan through good deeds. Senator Barrow used the occasion to go around the town amid cheers from admirers and well-wishers. He also paid condolence visits to some bereaved families, including that of late Halidu Ibrahim Kundila, member representing Bagwai Shanono constituency in the Kano State House of Assembly, who died recently.
9 days into the implementation of the new tariff for electricity customers in Band A, reactions have continued to trail the performance of distribution companies as consumers call for more investment in distribution networks to improve supply across all bands. Customers in Band A share mixed feelings about the level of supply under the new tariff regime, with consumers at a media engagement urging the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission to protect the rights of consumers by ensuring distribution companies deliver on agreed hours of supply to their customers across all bands. Acknowledging liquidity crisis in the sector, among other challenges over the years, consumers call for a thorough audit of operational and capital expenditure of all the 11 distribution companies for accountability and service delivery.
Basic performance standards. It deals with risk connection and disconnection. It deals with complex management. It deals with service performance standards. The distribution company is supposed to provide meter. They are supposed to provide transformer. Let them bring report of utilization of OPEX and the CAPEX since 2013 when privatization came on board. What amount has the discos invested from their operational expenditure every year? What have they invested in their capital expenditure every year? How many transformers have DISCOs provided? How many meters have they provided? Every year, when they approve that OPEX and CAPEX, they tell them the number of meters they should provide every year. Which one have they provided?
And next is business news. Benny Adams is our guide. Benny?
Thank you and welcome to business. Now, with rising inflation amid Naira being tipped as the world's top performing currency, experts in the equities market say the best place to invest is the capital markets.
That are above the inflation rate. When returns are above inflation rate, you say they're positive. So a positive rate of returns today have come from the markets as opposed to other asset classes. Today, as we speak, if you look at the year-to-date return of the Nigerian stock market, it's around 38% and 9%. And inflation is at 31.7%, you know, as of last month. So you find that the returns from the market, you know, are positive. Compare that with returns even in the fixed income space, for example. I'm talking about the stock market now versus, you know, government securities. The highest we've seen, maybe returns of about 26, 27%, which are still below the inflation rate, which is also partly why the central bank has been, hiking rates. So if you look at it generally, the stock market, you know, holds a lot of promise, especially when investors, diversify their investment.
And now a quick look at the energy markets. Oil rose on Friday as heightened tensions in the Middle East raised the risks of supply disruptions from the oil-producing region, though the market is set for a weekly loss on expectations of fewer U.S. interest rate cuts this year. Now concerned that Iran might retaliate for an attack on Monday by suspected Israeli warplanes on Iran's embassy in Damascus has supported oil near 6 months high this week, despite dampening factors such as a rise in U.S. inventories. Brent crude futures climbed 79 cents to $90.53 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures rose 92 cents to $85.94. Prices briefly paired gains after the International Energy Agency cut its forecast for 2024 world oil demand growth and predicted a further slowdown in 2025. Oil was set for a weekly fall as Brent crude headed for a roughly 1% decline. And a quick look at the markets too in Nigeria. At the end of the last weekday of trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, a total of 734 million shares in 12,491 deals corresponding to a market value of 21.5 billion naira were traded. Today's data shows 84% improvement in volume, 206% improvement in turnover, and 32% improvement in deals. And the current market capitalization is 57.9 trillion naira. United Bank for Africa recorded the highest volume of 149 million traded shares, followed by Zenith Bank 136 million and Guarantee Trust Holding 98.8 million. Well, that is business news. Network news continues after this break.
Health, they say, is wealth, and this is so because no meaningful development can be achieved by an ailing family, community or nation. It is against this background that Muhammad Musa Askira takes a look at how interventions by the Jigawa state government have reduced maternal and child mortality in the state.
Research has shown that scaling up primary healthcare interventions in developing countries, including Nigeria, could save 60 million lives and increase average life expectancy by 3.7 years by 2030. In Jigawa, out of more than 12,600 communities in the state, 750 communities are living in the hard-to-reach areas, a development identified to be responsible for the high maternal and child mortality rates in the state in the past years. Having realized this fact, Jigawa State, in the present administration of Malam Umar Namadi, is now one of those at the forefront in deploying resources, expertise and strategies, ensuring community participation in achieving health for all and reducing the rates of maternal and child mortality across the state.
Imagine a scenario whereby a woman is living in a rural area where there are no tarred roads, there are no cars, there are no facility where she lives. It has rained, the roads are bad, and just there is no vehicle or road, and there's a bleeding, and you are told you need care within the next half an hour or 30 minutes or 1 hour.
The Umar Namadi administration has devised strategies for transporting expectant mothers to the nearest health facilities to save lives.
To identify drivers that live close to these communities. So somebody who has retired and want to participate, we engage all of them. Right now we have engaged over 350 drivers. We give them training and orientation. We give them issue letter confidentiality and privacy of women and how to transport women who are in sick condition and so on.
I enjoy my job. There is nothing pleasing me than having the opportunity to save life. We cannot thank the government enough for the free transport and medical care. The driver came on time and took me to the hospital, and after safe delivery, he brought me back home. We are grateful to the Modi.
For other residents in the state like the aged, persons with disability and other vulnerable who are not in the state health insurance scheme, Governor Umar Namadi approved 1.2 billion naira to take care of their medical expenses. These gradual but steady achievements in primary healthcare service delivery is propelling Jigawa State towards zero maternal and child mortality rates from duty. Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
And in this segment, we're going to focus on safe motherhood, which is celebrated in the country on April 11 every year to ensure best practices and achieve the lowest or zero mortality rate. Now, with me in the studio to discuss this all-important issue is the Special Advisor to the President on Health, Dr. Salma Anaskulu. Thank you for joining NTA News, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Murjanatu, and good evening, everyone, and happy Safe Motherhood Day.
Now, Doctor, how would you rate Nigeria's Safe Motherhood program, which was established in 1999?
Well, I would say we are not yet there where we want to be in terms of reduction of maternal death. That is all deaths related to pregnancy, childbirth, and post-delivery. We still have a lot of room to improve on it. But I'm glad to mention that under the renewed hope agenda of health under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, there is a renewed commitment and there is a renewed hope for Nigerian women, Nigerian families, to fast-track reduction of maternal death. There is high level of commitment. And how do we want to do it? We want to ensure that no one is left behind under the overall umbrella of universal health care coverage. Women should have access to maternal health services across board, from antenatal care services, delivery services, and postnatal services. In addition, also, women should have access to preventive intervention measures around sexual and transmitted diseases, as well as nutritional support for women to ensure that they are nutritionally balanced and also are in a healthy condition to engage in activities around pregnancy, childbirth, and post-delivery. So I would say that implementation of the program, if you look at the Renewed Hope agenda, the priority areas of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, issues around maternal and child health, in summary, including all reproductive, sexual, reproductive, maternal, and child health, are prioritized and are supposed to be delivered using the platform of the primary health care, as well as all the levels of care, secondary and primary health care. But also, the most important is to ensure quality of healthcare services to be delivered to women. So there will also be an opportunity to ensure that even tertiary institutions contribute maximally to the reduction and also reduction of maternal death and also improvement of quality healthcare services through capacity building, mentorship program, as well as hands-on provision of services. So these are some of the measures that are in place. But most importantly, I must mention, we are working aggressively to step up capacities of health workers, not just in terms of capacities, but also quality and numbers of healthcare providers that will be made available at the primary healthcare level. But this is not just responsibility of the federal government, but it's a joint collective responsibility of subnational level. We've seen what is happening already in Jigawa State. So we are embarking on an advocacy activities with subnational governments so that they understand the magnitude of maternal death in each of their states, and also to make drastic efforts to rally around key stakeholders in the state, including community leaders, religious leaders, influential groups, and policy makers, to come together and see how they can quickly accelerate reduction of death associated with pregnancies, with the deliveries and postpartum, including also the health of children, especially children under 5 years. So these are some of the measures that we are embarking on at the moment.
So is there a timeline? There's a lot of things here: capacity building and facilitation, working with partners, as well as advocacy. Is there a timeline to achieving all this?
Yes, there is definitely a timeline. So we've looked at it in terms of a short-term, medium-term, and a long-term plan, which all has to happen within the next 4 years by 2027. And for each group, there are responsibilities, and you are aware of the holistic approach to ensure that all partners work together. We've launched the RAMCA Multi-Stakeholder Coordination Platform about 2 years ago, which we are still stepping it up to ensure that there's a coordinated approach and harmonized approach towards delivery of maternal and child health services. And we have the same plan and then the same goal and objective at all the levels of our facilities to deliver healthcare services. So not only government or public sector facilities, but also rallying and also supporting and strengthening private sector facilities to ensure that they are well regulated and also providing quality services for women and children.
Now, finally, Doctor, I want to dwell a bit on advocacy. Partners and government officials understand their role. What about the community members in terms of some of the traditions we've seen in the past that prevent maternal and infant mortality?
The community have a very significant role to play, because if you look at the drivers, of maternal death, it has to do a lot with social determinants, which are socio-cultural norms and values of the people. So if you look at the major causes of maternal death, it's around maybe having the babies too early, and then too many children or at an older age, and they all have to do with socio-cultural norms. Decision, for instance, to transport a woman to a facility. It is a decision that has to be taken at the home level. Who decides that to happen? So it is all surrounded by socio-cultural norms. Transportation of women, these are some of the supply side. So community plays a very important role, and that is why we are working around advocacy to ensure that communities are well involved, community leaders are involved, and then they come up with homegrown solutions, because nobody wants to see that they lose a woman as a result of pregnancy or childbirth, or you lose a child. Nobody will be happy. There is no family that will be happy around that. So there are lots of gaps in terms of information. So we are aggressively providing that information awareness. And that is why the day is dedicated for safe motherhood, is to intensify action around health education, awareness creation on the issues of maternal health. How do women access services? Who are the promoters? Who are the champions within communities? Because we need to identify champions, promoters of maternal health within respective communities that will play that role and create that enabling environment that will support women and families to access quality healthcare services within their environment. So those are some of the few measures, and it requires really subnational levels to play a greater role in that. We have to understand our key mandate areas at the federal level. What are the key mandate areas? What are the key areas of focus also at the subnational level? I'm glad to mention that a lot has been done in the past, especially at the national level. In the areas of policy formulations, frameworks, and all the guidelines have been developed. But that cannot provide any change without operationalization, without dedication of resources and commitment at the subnational level. That is the only way we can achieve sustainable implementation of services and provision of services to women at that level, and also our families are well enlightened so that they play a key role as supporters and champions at a subnational level up to the local government level.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for that insight. It's nice to know that efforts are being intensified to ensure safe motherhood and limit maternal and infant mortality.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. I've been speaking with Dr. Salma Anas Kolo, the Special Advisor to the President on Health, on achieving maternal and infant health through best and safe practices. Still on health, Nigeria has taken delivery of laboratory supplies donated by the United States government. Uche Ugochukwu reports that the gesture is part of ongoing collaborations to assist Nigeria's emergency response to disease outbreaks.
Nigeria, like many other countries, has been burdened with infectious diseases at several times, further straining the health system. In tackling these outbreaks, evidence shows collaboration is critical. The U.S. government's donation of biosafety containment equipment, personal protective equipment, and other commodities to the Nigeria Center for Disease Control is in continuation of its mandate for expanding and developing partnership with Nigeria.
Laboratory scientists play a vital role in quickly detecting and confirming cases, which is crucial for an effective disease response. The increased volume of laboratory work created by these simultaneous outbreaks creates a pressing need for additional resources.
This donation I'm making today is definitely going to enhance our capabilities in diagnosing, detecting diseases of interest, and globally to enhance our capability to make things happen in this country with respect to health security.
This is expected to add muscle to the current administration's renewed hope agenda in the health sector. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
Away from health matters, the Lagos State Special Offences Court sitting in Ikeja has granted bail to former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, who is standing trial on a 26-count charge. The presiding judge, Justice Rahman Oshodi, granted Emefiele bail in the sum of 50 million naira with two sureties in like sum. Justice Oshodi equally held that the sureties must be gainfully employed and have 3 years of tax payment with the Lagos State government. The court averred that the sureties must show proper identification and they must be registered in the Lagos State bail management system. The court also granted bail to the second defendant, Henry Omoile, in the sum of 1 million naira with two sureties who must provide 2 years tax clearance. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission last Monday arraigned Godwin Emefiele and one Henry Omoile before the court on a 26-count charge bordering on alleged abuse of office and irregular allocation of $4.5 billion and 2.8 billion naira. It's time to join Hingino in Lagos for more reports. Hello, Hingino.
Naja'atu. Still on judiciary, the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has sentenced Nigeria's cross-dresser Idris Olariwaju Okune, popularly known as Bobrisky, to 6 months imprisonment without an option. Diana Ajale reports.
Idris Okuneye, popularly known as Bobrisky, was sentenced for abusing the naira. Justice Abimbola Awogboro, while delivering the judgment, said it will serve as a deterrent to others who are fond of abusing and mutilating the local currency. Before the sentence, Justice Awogboro asked Bobrisky about his gender, and he replied that he is a man. The court also ruled that his jail term commenced on the 24th of March 2024 when he was arrested. The cross-dresser had been in the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, since his arrest. He was arrested for abusing and mutilating the naira when he sprayed 400,000 naira at a mobile premier in Lagos. Bobrisky had earlier pleaded guilty to the 4th count charge brought against him by the EFCC. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Structures in markets and residential areas that do not conform to rules and regulations of physical planning will be brought down to avert further disasters, no matter who is involved. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu was speaking after an on-the-spot assessment of the Idumagbu Dosumu fire incident in Lagos. Joy Ken Abapoya reports.
It's been more than 48 hours since the outbreak of fire at the Dosumu Idumagbu area of Lagos Island, and efforts are still on to totally extinguish the inferno, which has so far affected 14 buildings. Describing the incident as unfortunate, preventable, and one too many, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says government will no longer condone careless acts by selfish persons that put the lives and properties of residents in danger. He blamed the intensity of the fire on the presence of combustible materials, noting that many apartments in the area believed to be residential were converted to warehouses for highly flammable materials.
Thankfully, no lives have been lost, but you can see the amount of property that have been wasted. You can see the amount of people's assets, collateral damages that have been wasted. So this is a call to others outside there. Government will not shy away from its responsibility. We will come really hard, and I'm reporting we will come really, really hard on structures, on properties that will not conform with our rules. We will bring them down. We will bring them down, and I'm saying it now.
For those people that still have their generators suspended, they are once again at their own interest advised to bring them down, because the enforcement team will be here immediately from today to ensure that all generators that are put on the elevated platform are brought down.
Governor Sanwo-Olu, who promised prompt support for victims of the inferno, insists that markets in the area will remain closed until assessments and investigations are over and a proper cleanup done. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abapoya, NTA News.
Those are the reports from Lagos. The news will continue after this break. Do stay.
President Bola Tinubu congratulates the National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Felix Morka, on his birthday. In a statement, President Tinubu joins the APC leadership, members, family and friends to celebrate the audacious voice of the governing party. The president commends Morka for the brilliance and poise he brings to critical issues, while wishing him renewed verve in his service to the party and the nation. President Tinubu praised God Almighty to grant the APC spokesperson many more years in good health. To security matters now, the Nigeria Police Force says it has recovered 70 mobile phones, 21 laptops, 1 point of sales POS machine and other valuables from some suspected one-chance operators. Force Public Relations Officer Muyiwa Adejobi at a briefing in Abuja called on Nigerians who might have had an ordeal with one-chance operators to come forward and identify their belongings. Francis Form reports.
This lady narrating her ordeal is a victim of one chance. She entered a one chance vehicle with 3 men. After a short distance, one of the suspects seated in the front adjusted his seat on her and she was asked to surrender her belongings.
For reaching Nikon Junction, when they passed Nikon Junction, the driver changed the mode of driving. He started driving very, very fast. And then the one in front bent.
And 12 suspected one-chance criminals are in police debt. Amongst them is an ex-police corporal who was dismissed from the police force for the same offense in 2019. Having secured a bail at the court, he decided to go back to his old trade, and the ex-corporal was identified by the lady as the driver of the one-chance vehicle she entered.
And that's from which we met in the prison. Now, introduce me to one chance.
We'll continue in our effort to make sure we decimate activities of these criminal elements who are fond of causing pains, sorrows, and agonies to us in this country. We cannot do it alone. We need your support. The federal government is trying its best possible to make sure ubiquitous, a more secure environment.
The force has also apprehended other suspects for various offences across the country, while assuring that all suspects will have a date in court at the end of investigation. Francis from NTA News.
Nigerian military troops have rescued 133 hostages and arrested 36 oil smugglers in the south-south region of the country. In a statement, the Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, says troops also recovered 270 weapons and 5,083 munitions. Similarly, in the Niger Delta area, troops discovered and destroyed 51 dugout pits, 24 boats, 21 storage tanks, and 4 vehicles. Meanwhile, strategic partnership is believed to be a valuable tool which provides the resources and support needed to succeed in a highly competitive environment. This is the kind of partnership the Nasarawa State government and the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations sealed when both parties met in Abuja. Hamman Jabani reports.
Collaboration between the Nasarawa State government and the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations does not just depend on this pleasantry, but hopeful it will pool resources and technology to achieve mutual success for the people of Nasarawa and the country at large. The strategic partnership will see to the hosting of Nigerian Public Relations Finishing Schools, a groundbreaking initiative for Africa that will represent a transformative professional and educational endeavor. It is also expected to provide the Nasarawa State government with a team of strategic communication experts in delivering cutting-edge PR solutions to expedite the process of rebuilding trust and further enhance the reputation of Nasarawa State as an attractive destination for investors.
I have no doubt that with the kinds of competencies you have around, and with the commitment that I see actually from you, that we are indeed, going to make the impact. But for Nasarawa State, I want to assure you that you have the partner that you are looking forward to.
So I want to congratulate you for having that vision and that passion to give to Nasarawa something they will look up to, something that will inspire them, something that will motivate them to know that they have a state to build. And building that state is not you alone, it's a collective responsibility.
The partnership saw the Nasarawa State government providing land for the institute for the finishing school, and it is the beginning of better collaboration that will guarantee success, that will build brand awareness and profitable future for both parties. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
This is the Network News. Stay tuned for more news after some messages. Just in time for sports update with Gift George.
The board of the Nigerian Football Federation has appointed former Under-17 World Cup winner Manu Garba as head coach of Nigeria's Under-17 boys, the Golden Eaglets. Manu Garba had in the same role led the Golden Eaglets to win the FIFA Under-17 World Cup for Nigeria in the United Arab Emirates in 2013. Nigeria's first triumph at that stage. Some of his World Cup conquering team includes Kelechi Iheanacho, Taiwo Awoniyi, Isaac Success, Musa Mohammed, Chidebere Wankale, and goalkeeper Dele Alampasu. The coach will now resume duty immediately and take charge of Nigeria's Golden Eaglets for next month's WAFU B Under-17 Championship taking place in Ghana. After qualifying for the Olympic Games in Paris after 16 years, the Nigerian Football Federation has concluded plans to organize 2 friendly matches for the Super Falcons to ensure they are adequately prepared for the Olympic Games. This is heeding to the call by the Super Falcons head coach Randy Waldrum, who advised the football body on the need for the international friendlies to ensure the team is well prepared ahead of the games in France. In the English.
And now condolences and tributes for the late Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu. Vice President Kashim Shettima has expressed his heartfelt condolences on the passing of Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, describing him as a true statesman and accomplished Nigerian leader. In a personally signed statement, Vice President Shettima acknowledges Dr. Onu's impact on the nation's political landscape adding that as the Minister of Science and Technology, his dedication to nation building was evident in his focus on fostering scientific achievements and technological innovation, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. The statement notes that beyond his political achievements, Dr. Ono was a man of integrity, wisdom and unwavering principles who will be forever remembered by the nation. The Vice President extends his deepest sympathies to the family during this difficult time, praying the Almighty to accept and grant his soul peaceful rest. Similarly, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, on behalf of the Federal Executive Council, mourns the death of the former Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu. Senator Akume says the late doctor was an epitome of a thoroughbred politician with impeccable integrity, whose unflinching support and loyalty contributed immensely to the evolution of the All Progressives Congress. The SGF commiserates with the government and people of Ebonyi State, his immediate family, and prays God Almighty grant the soul of the departed eternal repose. Meanwhile, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, also sends his heartfelt condolences to the family of the former Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation Chief Ogbonnaya Onu. In a statement, Akpabio describes the late Onu as a perfect gentleman who will be sorely missed for his wisdom, mature composure, zest for excellence and proven integrity. The Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Jeffrey Naji, expresses profound sorrow over the death of former Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, describing the loss as significant to the ministry. The minister commends Onu's visionary leadership and remarkable contributions which advanced the innovation, science and technology sector in Nigeria. The ministry, Naji notes, is mourning the loss of a disciplined and passionate leader whose integrity and dedication have left an indelible mark in the sector. The minister urges the family to take solace in the impactful and fulfilled life the late two-time Minister of Labour and Employment. The impact left by the former minister. Similarly, former two-time Minister of Labour and Employment and former Governor of Anambra State, Senator Chris Ngigi, expresses shock and deep grief over the demise of Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu. Ngigi describes Onu's exit as an unquantifiable loss to Nigeria and the southeast geopolitical zone, adding that Onu was an Iroko tree in Igbo land, whose death will leave a large vacuum in the Igbo community and national political landscape. The account of political development in the country, especially from the truncated Third Republic till date, cannot be complete without mentioning Dr. Onu's positive contributions, says the former minister. Ebonyi State Governor Chief Francis Wifulu pays glowing tribute to the former governor of Abia State and Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, describing him as an illustrious son worthy of immortalization for posterity. The governor, in a statement, says Dr. Onu died when his wealth of experience was much needed, and the late Onu will be remembered by the people of Ebonyi for his knack for intelligence and excellence and commitment to the development of the state and nation at large. Meanwhile, the death has been announced of Ukona Pala of Ezigbo Umuma Okoko Item in Bende local government area of Abia State. He was aged 89, and his burial ceremony will be on the 13th April 2024 at the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses at Ukoma Okoko Item, Bende local government area. He is survived by his wife, children and grandchildren, among whom is Nena Uzoma Opala, Manager Training NTA Headquarters. May Baba's soul rest in peace. And that concludes the network news on NTA. Thanks for staying with us.